Welcome to Muslim Academy's podcast series, a collection of interviews with individuals living in Muslim countries or living as Muslims, striving to bridge the gap between the Western world and the Muslim world. In today's podcast, Chris has a conversation with Ehab, a Christian Arab living in Egypt, and AbdelRahman, a native Egyptian Muslim currently living in Russia. They discuss the protests in Cairo's Freedom Square prior to the Egyptian Revolution and now, after the results of the presidential election, as well as the innocent verdict rendered for Mubarak's sons.
My name is Ehab. I live in Cairo, or Giza to be specific, from Egypt.
Great, AbdelRahman.
Okay, I'm AbdelRahman and I'm from Egypt. I live in Cairo.
Right now, are you in Russia?
Right now I'm in Russia.
What time is it there, if you don't mind me asking?
In Russia now it's 2:33.
Wow, so bright and early, 2:33 a.m. Is it cold out there?
Is it cold?
Yeah.
Yeah. So cold.
Definitely.
Well, I guess compared to Egypt, most anything is cold.
It's 7 degrees outside.
That's Celsius. I have to convert that to Fahrenheit. I'm not quite sure what that is, but
So
I have a feeling
cold.
it's cold. Yeah, it's pretty cold. Okay, so both of you guys, I wanted to thank you for agreeing to talk with me for this next installment of the Muslim Academy podcast. And AbdelRahman, this is your first time, and we don't have Caitlin here, but I just wanted to let you know that our podcast is to let people in the West, and specifically America, know about what's going on in the Muslim world. And right now, there's pretty much no bigger story than the election in Egypt. I remember, AbdelRahman, talking with you almost every day during our Arabic lessons about not only living through the aftermath of the revolution, but also going day by day, talking about some of the violence that was happening in the streets, talking about the hope that was there in your heart about what was going to happen with the elections. And now we have the results of the elections. And I know that you're not there right now, but as I understand it, after the revolution began in January of 2011, and the elections for parliaments were in November 2011, if I'm correct. The Muslim Brotherhood won, and now, just last week, the two final people for the presidential elections were nominated. And the two candidates are one person from the Muslim Brotherhood and one person who used to work with Hosni Mubarak, the former president of Egypt. So, AbdelRahman, maybe, because I've talked to Ehab a little bit about this, but maybe, AbdelRahman, you can talk and give your thoughts as someone who was there in the revolution and who's someone who's watching this from afar. So please go ahead and just give us your thoughts about what's happening in Egypt right now.
Okay, if you want me to talk about the results, okay, of the court, so it was expected.
Maybe you can, the results of the courts, maybe you can, for those of us who don't know, maybe you can tell us what you mean by that.
What I mean by it, that it was expected.
That of the elections or Mubarak's sons in courts?
No, Mubarak's sons in court.
Why were they in courts? Just for those people who don't know why.
It was expected that the results will be unfair. Anyway.
I guess let me go back. Ehab, maybe can you tell us a little bit about why Mubarak's sons were in court and what was the trial about?
They were basically in court because of the after the revolution broke out, a lot of protests went in the streets, and many of them were killed, and everything that happened. So they were accused of killing the protesters, which is the main charge that everybody was hoping that they will at least get like 25 years in prison or so instead of getting innocent.
So they were. Is there also something with the stock market?
Yeah, manipulating the stock market. Yes.
Something about giving, was it gas to Israel? I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is
yes,
what I've read.
The deal that Egypt has with Israel, as reports say, that they export natural gas to Israel with nothing as its price. It's supposed to be higher.
So they were basically selling gas to
yes, exactly.
Israel for very low prices.
Yes, for their own good. So, but apparently they are innocent of everything.
And they were in trial. How long was the trial? Do you guys know?
I think almost 6 months or so. I'm not sure exactly.
6 months. Okay. Accused of murdering the people in the streets during the revolution.
The revolution, exactly.
As well as fraud in the stock market. And AbdelRahman, you said that. When were the results of the court? This was last weekend, right? On Saturday.
Mm-hmm. It was expected because they were judging by the regime itself. The regime didn't down yet. Okay, so the regime they're still working. The Institute of Police. Okay, everything is still like it was working because the regime didn't down yet.
So right now in the courts, you're saying that Hosni Mubarak's regime is still controlling the courts.
Yes, exactly. It's like the regime is judging itself. So.
Judging itself. Mm-hmm.
And what was both of your reactions when you heard about this?
Well, at first,
it was expected.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, for me it was expected, but I was feeling so bad about election results, and that made it worse. And because I'm out of Egypt, it's more, and because of my preparation for wedding, it's more loud over my head, and that's why I feel so depressed right now for this moment. But after that, I heard that people are heading into Tahrir Square and every square all over the country. And that gave me some hope. And like today, I think the candidate of Brotherhood, he gathered with the other candidates who ran for elections, and I think they made deal or something, or they are discussing what will they do in the near future, in this week before the repetition stage round of the election, because they must. I think election will not be done, and if it's done, it will lead us to the regime again, the reborn of regime. Because anyway, Shafiq, he frauded in the first round, and he will do the same in the repetition. He will win the election anyway, even if no one voted for him. He will win the election. They know how to fraud. They know how to lie to people. They know how to dominate the brains of some ignorant people. Besides that, they will do their ways, their dirty ways. We all know the dirty ways. And still they dominate, they rule, they are in rule, so they will stay in rule.
So
we need a revolution.
I need a second revolution.
We need a revolution because the first failed.
Well, it's just so, people have a little bit of context, and this is from talking to, people like you guys. I understand that the revolution really started in January of last year when thousands or tens of thousands of people went to Medina Tahrir, which I believe the translation is Freedom Square. And people were going, and the numbers became so large that Mubarak had no choice but to step down. And that's when the military council came into its place. And I think both of you guys went to Freedom Square during the original revolution, correct?
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
Can you guys tell us a little bit about what it was like? Because I hear that there was a lot of violence during these times. Some people died, if I'm not mistaken. As someone who, again, lives in the United States, I don't necessarily have any clue as to what happens actually in something like this, and we really don't get a very good view of it in our local media.
Yes. I went there about after 6 or 7 days of the revolution, because my parents and everybody I know didn't want me to go there because it was so dangerous and such. But finally, I went there. It was horrific. The gas bombs and all of what the police uses is just too much violence. Yeah, every time you will see someone screaming, they are coming, and everybody's running in a separate directions. Nobody knows when they are coming from. But after a few days, after the police retreated and all the police stations in Egypt were burned, and no policeman would have the courage to walk into the street, things calmed down a bit, and people started to stay there, and nothing happened. It was peaceful in the last days.
How many people went to Medina Tahrir during these protests, so I have an idea of the number?
I don't have, of course, I don't have an accurate count, but there was no place there was no place to step your foot in. You'll have to keep pushing people to move around.
Well, do you think maybe tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands?
No, hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds
Close
of thousands.
to a million.
Because I don't really have a good idea of how big Medina Tahrir is in terms of size and how many people it can hold.
Yes, close to a million.
Close to 1 million.
Yes. Not only Midan al-Tahrir, but Midan al-Tahrir and all there is Abdelrahman Riyadh, there's different squares near Midan al-Tahrir. There was also people there, not Midan al-Tahrir only.
I would like to remind that the revolution was everywhere in the country, not only in Cairo. And Suez, many people were killed, and the revolution really burned it. Like I would say in Arabic, it burned it from Al-Suez. It began from Suez.
Could you elaborate that?
Suez, it's
the canal?
It's a canal. No, not a canal. It's city on the canal, on the shore of the canal.
Okay.
Suez Canal.
Was it really bad there?
It was really bad, and in Alexandria also there were millions on the street. Alexandria I think, is the most faithful to the revolution, the most faithful city to revolution until now.
And you're saying that this is happening again now. Is this, are the people who are going to Medina Tahrir going because of the elections or because of what happened with Hosni Mubarak's sons?
Both of them, I think.
When were the results of the elections released?
Because even we have a law that anyone who has worked with Mubarak regime cannot run for elections, cannot be in any political, in any power, cannot be in power. Anyway, this Shafi is prime minister in revolution, in the time of revolution. He brought him to save the situation. So, I would think he's...
Wait, so Egypt had a law that said that nobody who was involved with Mubarak's regime could become in power again, although
it is a law.
It is a law.
It is a law.
Oh,
And it should be applied, but they didn't apply it. This we have council of election.
so this was a law that was passed by the parliament or the military council.
Yes. No, by parliament, but then the military council has to agree. So they agreed, but then after that, it's not applied. And Shafiq ran for elections. He's running for the second round, the repetition round. Now people are in there because of that and because of what's happened in the court also.
Ehab, I know that you are in Cairo, or at least close to Cairo. Have you gone to Meydan Tahrir because of either the elections or the ruling for Mubarak's sons?
Well, not yet actually. I was waiting for Friday because each Friday it's like the special day for protest. So people are gathering themselves right now in Meydan Tahrir. I'm watching it actually right now on TV. They are preparing for tomorrow's protests, which we are hoping it will be large numbers. So I'm planning to go there tomorrow, inshallah.
Oh, so you're going to tomorrow.
Tomorrow should be a million march because they are calling for a million march for tomorrow, and every Friday is a million march when there is.
Who leads the protest? How do people know to go to Meydan
Who leads the protest? They lead themselves. They have seen. They have tested the test of freedom, something like that, and now they know the way. They know everything. They know how they organized that before. I think it's all on Facebook groups, pages. Everyone goes. In addition to Brotherhood is a great they have great organization, okay, which can organize, which can gather many people from Cairo, from out of South Cairo. They can bring their people to the square whenever they want, with a word. Official word.
Okay.
Now we have to reveal it. Now we have to go for the Tahrir Square. So we will go to the Tahrir Square, and every square in any city in all over the country they go. So this is a great power, to be honest. And during the revolution, even now some people can deny that Brotherhood were with revolution. They are not from us. They are, and now they will not vote in elections because there's Brotherhood candidate and the other candidate is Mubarak man. So they will not vote because no one is representing the revolution from their view. But I think that Brotherhood still represent the revolution because they were in there during revolution, and until now they are with us. They have different views, and it doesn't mean that they are not from the Tahrir Square. They are from Tahrir Square. They came out from there, and they saved the revolution during the revolution. To be honest, I'm not Brotherhood, but to be honest, I've told you before that we had in the second day of February in last year the Battle of Camel. If you remember.
Yes. Yes.
Battle of Camel. It was there. Many people from Brotherhood have died, have sacrificed their lives. So Egypt will.
Well, for those of us who might not know the Battle of Camel, can you just give about a 1-minute summary about what it was?
Camels, horses.
Right.
Okay, came along from Giza, near pyramids. This area is so famous because tourists go there and ride camels, and
it's where the Sphinx is.
They came along from there. Where? It was beside pyramids. Beside pyramids.
Got it.
They came, walk in caravans until they reached the Tahrir Square. They were standing, waiting for the sign to attack. Then they attacked. Everything was, I think, was placed with army who should this time who should separate the protesters and thugs, right? But they let these thugs to attack protesters inside the square, and then the protesters had to defend the square, because this time they attacked at daytime, and this time there were so few numbers, maybe 30,000. It was few, and most of them were Brotherhood, and some guys, youth, who were sitting in the square, staying the night, and waiting for the new day, so people would come more and more. But this time they attacked them, and it was so harsh clashes, battles.
May I ask?
Bombs and.
May I ask how many people died during this?
I don't remember exactly how many people died, but there were many. This day and the day of 28th of January also was a so much day. Many people died, and even I have some relatives, some cousin who died in the 29th day of January. Was killed by some sniper. Man.
A sniper?
Sniper. Mm-hmm. Man has hunted him. Like.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's okay. Inshallah, he's in Jannah. He's in paradise.
Yes.
Now, I have one thing that I can comment on this.
Please.
I don't know if you have known, but Ahmad Shafiq was the prime minister during Battle of the Camels that AbdelRahman has mentioned. And to show the level of mentality that he talks about, when asked about it, he said that he thought that the camels and the horses were going to dance with the protesters in Meydan Tahrir.
Yes, he has said that. Yes. He said that on TV, like before elections, when he's preparing for election, he's trying to gain the votes of people. He said that I saw they were going to dance with protesters.
He said that the camels and the horses that ended up killing all those people were just there to dance with the people?
Yes, exactly. Imagine that as the president of Egypt.
Wow.
It's sad. It's really sad.
Wow. Well, I know that many people are going tomorrow, and Ehab, I wish all the safety to you. May I ask, what do you want to get out of going tomorrow? What is it that you want to see happen by going to Meydan Tahrir?
I want to see justice prevail. I want the trial of Mubarak to be repeated, or to be more justified, and for the judge who was responsible for this to be changed, because apparently he's I don't know if he's being pressurized or he is with the old regime, but he's not just. He's not speaking the word of justice.
Well, were Mubarak's sons acquitted based upon a jury of 12 people or something like that, or just one judge?
No, we don't have the jury system as in the United States. The judge and only one judge. There is no jury. So
one judge said that Mubarak's sons were innocent, and
yes,
he let
not
them
only
go.
them, but Mubarak's sons and all the how should I say it? The leaders of the Ministry of Interior who were responsible for all the deaths that happened. All of them were innocent.
That's pretty incredible. And
Yes.
what does justice mean for you?
They came back to their work. They came back to their jobs, and if they back to they will work on taking revenge.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So as of right now, do you know where Mubarak's sons are? Are they still in the country, or are they in jail, or?
No, they are still in jail because there are other counts and other charges they will be charged with.
Oh.
Besides that one, yes.
Okay. So
it's very clear that they will also be innocent. Yeah. It's very clear.
Well, hopefully tomorrow you guys can, inshallah, you can have success in Meydan Tahrir. And Ehab, I wish you to be very safe tomorrow, because I understand that these protests can turn very deadly. And
Yes.
I hope you're okay.
Me too.
It will not be, inshallah, any bloody, because if they're millions, they cannot touch them. They cannot do anything.
I guess that's the power of the people.
They use a chance when we have few numbers.
And you're expecting at least 1 million people tomorrow, right?
For sure, inshallah.
Hopefully. Is there anything people in America can do to show their support? Or anything that people like myself can do to show our support?
Pray for us, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you can think about it, and I will be praying for you tomorrow, and I hope that you make it safely. And I wanted to thank both of you, AbdelRahman and Ehab, for talking to me. I know that it's late in both Egypt and Russia, 2 a.m. in Russia, and I believe 1 a.m.
3
now.
3.
Oh, 3 a.m. Thank you, and Ehab, and I know you've got a long day tomorrow, and hopefully the three of us can talk again about this issue, because I think that, as I said, one of our main objectives with Muslim Academy is to let people in America know, in the West know, a different view of the Muslim world. And I think that there's probably no bigger story in the Muslim world right now than what's happening in Egypt. So, Ehab, please, again, be safe. And thank you both so much for your time.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Okay. Thank you, AbdelRahman.
Thank you, and nice to meet you.
Chris is an attorney in Boston, Massachusetts. Ehab is a freelance writer in Cairo, Egypt. AbdelRahman is an Arabic language instructor and fashion designer in Tula, Russia. Music is by Dimitri Sawa. This podcast was produced by Muslim Academy. Please visit www.muslim-academy.com for more podcasts and other resources about Muslim language, culture, and religion.